Yo, what is up, y'all? My name is Robert Donaldson, and welcome back to another edition of Rob's Best Bets, and we are talking college football playoff yet again, and as you can see on our screen, it was a little bit of a depressing round one for us, and this also includes the bowl game record, but certainly over the last 10, we've been rolling in college football, and, you know, in terms of the actual college football playoff, we've still got futures live on Ohio State, on Arizona State, and we also have futures live on Notre Dame, which I'm loving all three right now, to be honest with you. And when you're looking at this second round, a lot of good matchups. I feel like we're going to get a lot better matchups in terms of the actual quality of the game. And before we jump into the picks, I do want to shout out our main sponsor on this channel, Underdog Fantasy, and make sure you are following me over on Twitter/X at RobDFB. We're going to have an entry up over there for tomorrow's slate. It's a great New Year's Eve slate, and throughout this entire week, honestly, across college basketball, NFL, and college football, it's just fantastic sporting all across multiple leagues, and we're going to have some entries over there for Underdog, and make sure you're using promo code RobDFB for a sign-up bonus as well. But with all that being said, I'm ready to hop into these picks. All right, first up, we are taking a look at that Penn State-Boise State 4v9 matchup out there in Glendale, Arizona. And this is one of those games that I feel like has the most plausible ranges, where if you say Boise State's going to keep it close throughout the entire game and have a chance to win, I might believe you. And if you also said that Penn State is just going to shut out Boise State at, you know, something like 28-7 or 21-7, I'd believe you there too. And what I kind of see in all these different ranges for this game is that point total being 54 points. I feel like that's really high, and I want to take the under here. So let's go ahead and take the 54-point under for 3 units for our first bet of the second round of the college football playoff. For pick number 2, we are heading out to Mercedes-Benz Stadium out there in Atlanta, Georgia, where we have Texas taking on Arizona State. And Arizona State is already getting looked over in this matchup. This could potentially be one of those blowout spots that everybody's wanting to talk about, but the reality is that Arizona State is actually a pretty respectable team, and with this number being the exact same as that Clemson number, I feel like there's something wrong there, because Clemson was playing in Austin and they took it to the Longhorns. They didn't cover the game by, 1 point or a half point or whatever it came out to, but they were absolutely in that game for 3 quarters. And on a neutral against Arizona State, a team that can run the ball and control the ground and, just put up points in general through the air as well, I feel like Arizona State is going to be in this ball game. So let's go ahead and take those 12.5 points here for 3 units for our second bet of the second round of the college football playoff. For pick number 3, we are heading out to that Oregon-Ohio State game out there in Pasadena, California, the Rose Bowl. This is going to be an iconic sight. It just feels right that a former Pac-12 team and a Big Ten team are playing in this matchup. And when you're looking at Ohio State, Oregon, this was a really fun go-around the first time. And I thought Ohio State was actually the better team in that game in Eugene. And Oregon and Dan Lanning, to their credit, they pulled out some stops. They pulled out some manipulation of the rule set, if you will, in college football, which, hey, kudos to them. That was so artfully done and so well executed that it takes a real genius to pull that kind of thing off. Now, Ohio State last week against Tennessee had a really good ramp-up game. They ran all over Tennessee. They shut down everything that Tennessee was throwing at that defense as well. And coming into this matchup, Oregon has kind of, sat on the sidelines for a bye week. And that can be good sometimes. That can be negative sometimes. And in this particular matchup, I feel like that's a negative, because Ohio State, the last time we saw them take on Oregon, it was a close ball game. It was tied, pretty much the entire game, or, neck and neck the entire game. And that sort of thing sticks with a team the entire season when you do lose that game. And had Oregon caught Ohio State right after they lost to Michigan, I feel like they're catching a demoralized Ohio State team that, was down in the dumps or feeling emotional over a tough loss against their all-time rival. But now they are at an all-time high. They are seeing a national championship in their sights, and I feel like they're actually going to go there and get it. So let's go ahead and bet Ohio State on the money line. We're going to eat a little bit of juice here, but we're going to take them for 4 units to win this game and advance to the semifinals. All right, for our final bet of the college football playoff round 2, we are heading out to New Orleans, where we have Notre Dame taking on Georgia. And obviously Georgia has the big storyline in this game because Carson Beck is going to be missing the rest of the season after having surgery from that injury he suffered in the SEC championship game. And when you're looking at Notre Dame, that is a fierce defense. And Gunnar Stockton, who we kind of saw a little bit of, he really didn't show us a whole lot in the SEC championship game. Even though he stepped in, he took some big hits, he showed some grit, he showed some toughness, he showed some ability to just not mess up the big moment. And I think that, to his credit, that's huge. But when you're playing up in a spot like this, making your first ever start on a neutral field against a team like Notre Dame, and Notre Dame will put up points in this ball game, I feel like you're up against it, man. And with Notre Dame, I probably would have liked them regardless, even if Carson Beck was healthy and playing in this matchup. But the fact that he's not makes me like them even more. So let's go ahead and bet heavy on Notre Dame for 4 units. And I say we just go right for the money line in this game. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video. And I really want to thank you guys for just kind of sticking through it all season long. You guys are so awesome. You've shown so much love to these videos, and I can't thank you enough. We've obviously been rolling over the last 10 days, and that's been mostly on Twitter/X. So if you are wanting to follow every single bowl game bet and potentially even some live bets or some, pre-game, pre-kick type bets in the college football playoff as well, make sure you are following me over there at RobDFB. And as I say in every single video, I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.